Hey everybody, Jessie here with You're Grounded, and thought I would come here and chat with you today about ego and abundance. Abundance and ego, they kind of go hand in hand. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jessie. I'm an angel intuitive, and I am a little kid. I'm almost 40, but can't get enough of the emojis. That's my magical kitty face. It doesn't matter how old I am. I'm gonna be a little kid. I've decided for the rest of my life. So today, though, I want to, and that kind of leads me into my topic of abundance and ego, and they kind of go hand in hand. And I was watching Hay House. They're having the summit, the mystical summit right now, and they have guest speakers on there talking. And the first lesson they were talking about the transmission of your presence, and that's one thing that I notice is that's what you get from me when you connect with me, when we're doing oracle cards or when you're getting guidance from someone. That's how you feel spiritual healing. Because some of you are like, how do I feel so connected? Because I've connected to people out in Ireland before, and I'm in Colorado, and it's a really magical thing to be able to connect and feel energy and feel somebody's situation. That's I can feel it through the phone, and it's strange, but it's not, because it's energy. But the transmission of this will help. And that's what my angel sessions do, is I transmute the negativity. So a lot of times we have a hard time moving to our abundance simply just because of it's our mind pattern. And that's what I wanted to go over with today, because a lot of people, I want everybody to know that you're able to have abundance, and it's not for the super spiritual or the super rich or the super smart or the anything. It is for everybody, and everybody has abundance. But it goes back to, what is your meaning of abundance? How do you feel abundance? What's your mentality of abundance? Is abundance to you having a 5-car house, 3-car garage, and a big house, or big yard, and 5 cars and whatever, and all the newest clothes? Is that your abundance? Or is your abundance like my abundance? My abundance, I feel, is having the need, the stuff I have to take care of my family, being presented with the means to pay rent, to put food on the table. When I get in a tough spot, having the tools to get out of that tough spot, because what we don't understand is that we're spiritual beings living a human being experience right now. And some people try to say that we're not spiritual beings, but as James said at the Summit House, we're all emotional. We're all spiritual beings. If we're here and we're present, we may not all have the same ways of experiencing, spiritualism versus religion, but we're all on the same path, and we're all have the same result. We just get to it different ways. So, sorry, I'm just I want to get, because I was watching this video, and it just really hit me. The abundance thing hit me, because I talk with so many clients all the time to help them move forward and progress in their you get the mentality of why me. And this is where our ego steps in. And I like to explain to people, if you have negative thoughts in your head, that usually comes from the place of ego, because people don't really understand what ego is. And ego is just that negative part of you got your soul, and then you got your ego. And your ego is usually the one, that negative Nelly that tells you that you can't do it, it's not possible, it'll never happen. And when you're shifting from your ego to a soul viewpoint, and that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to shift our way of thinking from the ego standpoint of it, where nothing's possible, you can't do it, yada yada, to a soul viewpoint that everything's possible and you just have to create it. And just let that sink in for a minute, because that's what we don't understand. Our society is so ready to go, 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 and do, and want. But when do we slow down and we take a step and realize that we have everything that we need provided for us at any time that we want it or need it? Now that's really hard, because I've been in that spot where life or death, make this decision. You're gonna lose everything you have. Money. I gotta pay rent. Don't want to sit in the dark with my lights off. I get it. But all those things come from ego, because really, truly, we're always taken care of. Our Creator, and I like to tell people I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. So whoever you feel your Creator is, because we have a Creator, and and we all have angels, and they're not religious. And once you take that little tidbit out, it's a lot easier to follow along in the, because I feel like people get hung up on the religion thing or the God thing, and then what I have to say after that was spectacular, didn't even make it through, because all you're worried about is what I think, and then your mind starts going, well, she just thinks this way and those people think that way, and your mind goes off on a whole different venture. So that's why I don't like to present religion. I present spirituality. And with your ego, there's a lot of, he was going over the 10 golden rules to emotional freedom. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I'm over here. Oh no, I want to continue. Okay, sorry about that. I was inviting more people over here because I only got one viewer. Come on. I know this is last minute, but we can get more than one person come join me. This is good stuff I'm talking about. But okay, so he was going over the 10 golden rules to emotional freedom. The number one rule that we need to learn, if you don't remember anything out of this video, if like that girl yammered on forever, I want you to take this with you. The 10 golden, or one of his, he didn't seem to go over 10 golden rules, I don't know. But his number one rule is you have done nothing wrong. Say that out loud. I have done nothing wrong. By saying this to yourself, you will allow yourself emotional freedom, because you made your decisions in life based on your level of consciousness that was available to you at that moment. Let that sink in for a minute. Because every day that we learn a spiritual lesson, we go up the ladder just a little bit more to spiritually progress and get our mind opened to a new level of consciousness. How could you have done anything? How could you have made the wrong decision if that was the only level that you had progressed to? You haven't. Last year you weren't on the same level. You were down here and up here. So how in the world could you have made the decision wrong if this part of your consciousness wasn't available to you yet? It's like the path. If you've ever played those games with puzzles or the computer games where you have to go and they only light up a little circle of the path and it's like a little flashlight and you move down it and you can't see. You see that there's more to the game. You really want to get over there because you're tired of seeing all this blackness. You know something really cool's over there, but you don't know what it is because you have to level up and you have to go through that part of the game to get to the next part of the game. So let that sink in for a minute. I think we take too much time, and the more I talk to my clients, and this is what really compelled me today. And I hope if you guys have any questions, if you pop on here, please feel free to ask me. I am a very good source of explain, and you can ask a lot of my clients. I learn how to explain stuff to get it to where it clicks into the person that I'm talking to. Not necessarily everybody doesn't learn the same, so I'm attuned to go and explain it to you to make sure that you understand it. But I really feel that really hit me when he said, "You've done nothing wrong." Because we beat ourselves up. Well, if I would have known this before I made that decision, then I wouldn't have made that bad decision. And well, how were you supposed to know that? Because you weren't brought up to this level of consciousness. But now that you made that decision and life's a learning, that's what it is. We learn. But we get so angry and upset with ourselves if we make a mistake. And we wage a war on ourselves instead of putting the energy where it needs to be at. We're not putting our energy towards the right thing. And that's why if you're sitting there and stuff's not coming to you and you're like, why me? Why does my life keep doing the same thing over and over? Well, then you got to step back and you got to take yourself back a couple steps and see what you're doing, because I believe it's the term for insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You're not gonna get any different results if you continue. It's kind of like cutting off a tablecloth. If you got a stain on it and you just cut off the tablecloth, well, eventually you're going to keep cutting all those stains out of your tablecloth. Guess what? You're not going to have a tablecloth left. So we got to work with what we have, and abundance is about being happy with what you have. Not about what everybody else has or what you want or what you need. It's about truly being happy with what you have and seeing it through a different perspective. Looking at life and your abundance through different lenses, I guess. If you had a pie chart, if you drew a circle right in front of you right now and you made a pie chart like you did back in school and you kind of sectioned it off for all the abundance in your life. And if you could do this with me, that'd be cool. But think about this. And it's a very good visual. You'll put one little sliver of pie for money. And look back on that and fill everything else in, because you need money. But look on the things that make you happy. Look at what fills up that pie chart to make you feel happy. When you look through because when you look through your glasses and you look at that pie chart, are you looking, James went on to talk about how looking through the eyes of enoughness. And I don't feel like we do that. We look at it like, yeah, this makes me happy, but the reason why it never made you happy, your kids make you happy. Your car makes you happy. But you don't ever feel like you have enough of it. Something's not there that you don't feel like you have enough of it. And if you just had a little bit more, then you would be happy and you would feel abundant. Well, we got to stop thinking that way. We got to, okay, so your kids bring you happiness. And that's a form of abundance, because abundance is not just material possessions. Abundance is what makes us happy and feel secure and happy and fulfilled in life. That's what abundance is. And some people don't understand that. They confuse abundance with having the coolest new Ferrari and, bank account, and all those things are nice. And if, taking care of your bills and paying that stuff, yes, that's a necessity. And those things will get taken care of. But I will let you know that if you worry about them, if you ask God and then if you ask your angels, whoever you pray to, and you ask them to help you and that you need help, and then you go and you worry all night after you just got done asking for help, it's kind of like the coworker at work. For example, I'm a medical assistant, and when I worked my medical assistant job, the biggest pet peeve and the best way to never get help again was to go ask one of the nurses or, somebody that's been there for a while for help and then get the answer and then go to another coworker and get the same answer but in a different way. Guess who that pissed off? The first person. Guess who's never going to help you again? The first person. That's kind of how your angels and the creator and the universe, that's kind of how they work with abundance and granting our wishes. I guess if you want to call them that. We ask and ask and ask and ask and ask. And especially if tragedy strikes our world, we go into this whole tangent of asking and praying and please God, I'll never do this again. And, maybe you don't do that. But somebody, I feel as humans, we've all done it at some point in our life, because I've done it. Please God, help me. I'll never do that again. Well, you know what? We need to listen to what our angels and our creator are saying, because if we listened, that repetitive, have you ever asked for something, asked for help, and then all of a sudden you hear a commercial on TV and you just hear the right words wherever it came off, but it was a really weird place that it came out of. But the words that you heard was like, that's it. And yesterday I was talking to one of my clients, and it was weird. All of a sudden, just one thing that I was telling her, and it echoed. And it was the coolest thing because it echoed. And that was the only part of my voice when I was talking to her on Messenger, and all of a sudden you hear my voice echo. And just that part, and what was it? Like, because it was talking about being grounded, I think. It was just the craziest thing, because I knew it was a divine intervention of because that was the only time I ever echoed on her whole thing, and it was just that part, and it was the coolest thing. And I get these experiences with my clients, and I think it's the coolest thing to be able to connect with that. And when people get this stuff, it's the coolest thing, because this stuff is totally applicable, and you don't have to be. A lot of people take themselves out of, you're not worthy. That's your other problem with getting abundance, and you don't feel worthy. You already have taken yourself out of the universe helping you, just by saying that, by being worried. Because if you ask for it, it will come. If it's on your life path, it will happen. And I only know this because I'm living proof of it. It's still happening to me. I've got great things coming down, and my life's about to open up. I feel it. I feel my career path and everything, because like I said, I'm not just an oracle card reader. I've never just been a medical assistant. I've never just been a mom. I've never just been a wife. I'm me, and I'm special. And if you can tell yourself that and stop putting limits on what you can do, because how do you know if your life sucks right now? And let me tell you, I have been there on the ground crying in my closet before, wondering how I'm going to have my next meal, how I'm going to make it, how I'm going to not freeze to death. Okay? And I get really emotional about this because I've been there. I've lived a really challenging, colorful life as a just growing up. And it wasn't by choice. It wasn't like I wanted to go and do all these things and go be an adult. I had to. Life said, you're going to go be an adult now. And it started at 14, if you guys can even imagine that. And I'm honest with my life, because if I'm not honest, you're not going to listen to what I say, because then I would be false. But I know, and that's why I come up here, and I'm going to have more. I'm going to start probably doing workshops, because I want people who are sitting there struggling and saying that they can't achieve it. I would like you to come and talk to me, because it's not true. You can't achieve it. It's personal limitation that holds us humans back. And it just makes, I'm sorry. I get a little emotional. It's because I've everybody's always asking for the secret to life, to abundance, to prosperity. You have a mom sitting at her house right now wondering how she's going to feed those 3 kids, and have that asshole, drunk, douchebag husband in there beating her ass. No worries, this is gonna be posted live, and I'm sorry, I know this is gonna be a long one, and I want you guys to, view it later, because it's important to me, because this is for my people out there who are lost, and maybe that's why I'm emotional right now, because I know the pain and the hurt in this world. And I know that it gets harder every day for everyone to make it out there. And I get it. And this supermoon has really, I don't know, I feel a lot of my old feelings coming back. but not coming back to stay. They're coming back they're surfacing because I'm starting to process the old feelings and the old way of thinking and my spiritual awakening. My vibration is I'm moving up the ladder of spirituality, and it makes me so happy when I talk to people. And the greatest feeling and the greatest gift that I can give to you guys is my bright, happy energy that I have to say I love you and I'm here to help you. And a lot of other human beings have maybe let you down, but I'm an earth angel. And I have been sent here. And maybe I was spending my first almost 40 years living my human experience, and maybe I got a little lost on my path, that I have a spiritual path to walk. And I wasn't ready to walk it yet, but I am now. And that's where you awaken and things don't seem the same anymore. And all that conditioning just doesn't seem right anymore. There's two major things that you need to know about abundance. The first thing is you have to feel abundant. And that's just like I said, if you draw that little pie chart out and you mark down all the things that you're abundant for and you look at it, if you have those things, do they make you feel abundant? Or are you going to need more things to fill in what you thought you needed? Because it's just filling a void. If you don't feel abundant, you're not going to attract abundance. It goes back and forth. And it's back to looking through that. When you look at your life around you, are you looking at it as it's enough? Or are you comparing it to Susie Jones next door, who, for all of you out there who compare yourselves to other people, let me just let you in on a little secret. And you might think, well, everybody says, of course, don't compare yourself to other people. They have their own issues. Well, I am also a testament to, I went door to door for about 10 years of my life. I did direct sales of different things. I have been in more people's houses because I did direct sales, and so I've gotten brought in. And because I'm who I am, people have been telling me their life story since I was probably a kid. I probably had people sit and testified stuff to me and not even know why they're doing it. And I know why you are, and I don't feel bad if you do. Sometimes I get it done to me a lot, though, that I can't always take your energy. But I do take people's energy when I feel it's bad and it needs to be misdirected, and I'll transmute that for you. So it's like sucking up that little bit, and I'll take it with me and go return it back to the Mother Earth as positive energy. Because that's what I do as a healer. I transmute that negative, and I also teach you a positive form of thinking. When you have, depending on what your abundance is, you can also be abundant in poverty. Did you know that? You're like, well, no shit. I obviously am abundant in poverty because look at my situation. The universe hates me. This is why it is. I never get a break. I'm not lucky enough. I'm never going to win the lotto. I could go on and on and on and on. And probably on, because I am probably even better at making excuses. And I am even better at going, why me? Because I've had many, many years of it. And I've had the hard knocks life, like I said. Well, actually, I've had the hard knocks life since I was a kid. I had good, my parents are good to me. They loved me, but we all had our growing up hardness. And I've learned to not make it an excuse because it doesn't matter. Who you are is who you are, and what your life path is what your life path is. Nobody can take that from you. And what your soul purpose is, nobody can take that from you either. You just have to find out this information, and that's how you activate and you wake up and you start having purpose. Purpose is something that I don't feel we talk enough about of. What is your purpose? Ask yourself that right now. What is my purpose? What am I doing in my life? Is the decisions I'm making today, are they moving me towards my life purpose? Well, I don't have a set of oracle cards and a life purpose book that says, hey, that tells me my life purpose. Well, you know what? I didn't have one for many years either. I got the cards actually to do them for my clients, but the cards are just I don't use these as I get my information every day, and if I don't have my cards, I can't live life. Why? Because I've been living my life for the past 38 years, and only 2 of those years have been used up with oracle cards to assisting to make my decisions. Because even though these tell me one thing, it's called I have free will, and it's my choice. And if today I decided I don't want to be a spiritual angel intuitive, I'm going to have probably a lot of karma and all kinds of fun things to endure. If I just decided today, I don't want to do this. I don't want to heal. I want to be a piece of crap. I want to sit here. I want to be an alcoholic. I give up. That's my choice. And any of my clients who tell me they want to do that, I'm not going to tell you not to. It's your choice. Just like the angels, I am not going to mess with free will. Messing with free will not get you healed, will not bring anything into your life. These are lessons that we have to learn for ourselves, because I'm never going to take the gratifying feeling that people get when I see the little light bulbs turn on and go, oh my God, this was so easy. This was so easy. And it was right there in front of my face the whole time. And I knew what you just told me. And I already knew all this. But I made it overcomplicated. I overthought it. And then I gave up faith because I didn't think my angels were listening to me. I get it. I've been there. And I always ask people, do you ever have a headache? Because your angels have been giving you signs. They've been dropping synchronicities. They've been giving you symbols, repetitive song lyrics with just the exact little tidbit in there for you to play in your head. And you're like, that kind of makes me think about that. So that, when your head starts hurting, that's because your angels are like, well, we'll just throw some boulders at his head. Maybe he'll get it then. And they're just like chucking rocks at your head, waiting for you to wake up. That's what they're waiting for us to wake up. And there was another person, and I didn't get his name because I just really briefly watched this. I think his name was Neil. It's on the Summit, Hay House Summit training that you can watch right now. But he was talking about when you focus, depending on what your focus is, whether it's on poverty or abundance, that is what you're going to get. So you can be abundant in poverty, because that's all you're worried about. That's all you're focused on is nobody's helps me. Nothing goes my way. I'm going to be like this forever. And that negative pattern of thought helps you to manifest. You didn't know you were a cool manifester, did you? Did you know by just those words that you just said, you just manifested the biggest bunch of poverty that you could have ever manifested? Complete with problems, with whatever you decided to throw in there. So when you say, I never make enough money, I'm never going to be able to pay my bills, I'm always going to live in this house, I'm never going to get ahead, why does everything keep happening to me? And then if you accidentally get mad and throw in, and watch, what else could happen? How much worse could it possibly get? Yeah, don't do that, because I've done that one. The universe showed me how much worse it could get. So don't ever ask that one, because the universe loves a challenge. And you just challenged it. And it said, oh, on guard. I can make it very, very challenging. So just keep that in mind. But if you turn it around and you manifest abundance, and this is how you manifest abundance. Wait, it's real easy, but it's very tough. Very tough, but very easy. Angels, I'm worthy of abundance in my life. Repeat after me. Angels, I'm worthy of abundance in my life. The things that I have in my life right now are great. I may have challenges in this life right now, but I know that you guys are working in the background to change that. I know the universe wants me to flourish right now, and it's not going to hold me back from moving forward. The universe loves me. The universe loves me so much, it's manifesting all the abundance, infinite abundance right now for me. Just close your eyes. And if you could imagine having everything that you ever needed, not that you wanted, but everything that you needed right now, all those worries, what would you do with your life? If you made time in your mind to stop thinking about those worries and start thinking about, okay, well, and I've come to this point before, like, well, this sucks. I can't do crap about crap. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the park today and I'm going to go swing on a swing with my daughter and I'm going to go slide down a slide and we're going to eat a 49-cent McDonald's ice cream. Granted, if their ice cream maker is working. Y'all feel me if you have some kids and you want to just go hurry up and get them an ice cream cone and they tell you their machine is not up at the moment. Yeah, y'all feel me. But if you could have time and put all that time and effort into something else other than worrying, what would you do? What would make you happy? Are there things that you're procrastinating doing right now because you're worried about something not happening? If you go overboard, it's kind of like, I've gotten to the point where I've had to live paycheck to paycheck and it's very aggravating. And have you ever just went out and you said, screw it, I am going to go get that $7 combo meal and I'm going to eat every last bite of it and I'm going to drink that soda even though I don't drink soda because I need to feel good today. Because you know what? $7 is not going to make or break my life because the problems I'm having are thousands or hundreds of dollars, not $7. So why am I not going to let myself have the joy that I need at that moment to feel fat and eat a burger and lick my chops afterwards? I'm just saying, like, and you know, eating is, I guess it's not the best example because I've been in the, you know, I'm in the medical field, and I've been in the medical field, and I'm not, people have, you know, and I was once a person that I stress ate, and I made myself up to almost 200 pounds. So when I say stuff, it's because I say it out of experience, but I get it. Please don't stress eat because that just makes stuff worse. But that's what I'm saying, is just whatever makes you happy in that moment, don't feel guilty for making yourself happy. Focusing on your not what's going on right now, the bad that's going on. Focus on how, imagine that situation healed and you're not going through it anymore. Look forward and see where you need to be at. Sorry. I get on here and I start connecting with my angels and my spirits, and this whole thing's been very emotional. And I'm trying to make, this was like an upbeat one, and it's not emotional like I'm sad. It's it's more of an emotional, like, because I just know so many people, I think I'm feeling their emotions right now, of so many people tied to this topic of they're in the struggle and they want to get out. And I want to know that you have hope and you can get out. And if you don't think you can, please come chat with me. Because you can only get out if you want to get out. If you want to stay tied to the struggle, it's there. It's never going to go away. But if you want to get out of it and move along your soul progression from your ego to your soul, and you're moving to your soul viewpoint. And he also made another great thing that he was talking about when we're shifting from our ego to a soul viewpoint. We end up having one foot in our ego and one foot in our soul. So what we end up doing is saying, well, I'm doing great. I'm being positive. I'm doing all this. If my ego would have just not followed me in here, and then we start blaming everything on our ego. And then that just puts us in the middle of confusion. And that just brings more negativity, because you can't play the blame game. That doesn't help. And that's what if you can learn things, learn to say, you've done nothing wrong. I really like that he said that. That really stuck with me. And he also said, if you're in a physical body, you're on a spiritual journey. And that's very true. And depending on where you're at in that spiritual journey, you can't beat yourself up. It's kind of like if you were a kid and you're 8 years, okay, my 8-year-old daughter, for example, you got an 8-year-old kid. They made the really stupid mistake of doing whatever, I don't know, 8-year-old kids do, because there's so many things that sounded like a good idea at the time. Now, when you're an adult, are you going to keep continuing to blame yourself for what you did as an 8-year-old child? Whether it was you decided to see if flower bombs were really a thing, and you got your mom's flower bags and wanted to see if they would break if you threw them against the wall and exploded, you know. I'm sure I drove my mom up a wall when I was 8. I don't even want to know what I did to my poor family at 8 years old. But I'm not going to continue at 38 to beat myself up and say, you're just stupid, Jesse. You just... Why did you act like that at 8? Well, because that was what my level of consciousness was. That's where I was. And people sometimes don't get it, and they want people to be at a different level than what they truly are. And I feel like that almost with my child. My child has sensory issues, and she's not autistic, but she's pretty like, she can't deal with loud noises and the kids drive her nuts. Well, her school's approach to it is that she just needs to be thrown in counseling, and obviously she just can't deal with life. And I've sat and watched it, and you know what it is? She just is lonely, and she's different than other kids. Well, the kids that she's around, not the other kids. It's just, anyways. And she thinks differently and perceives stuff differently and has a different level of consciousness than what people think she has, because she's 8, but she hasn't quite made it up to that 8 right there. Now, it depends on what subject you're talking about, though, because when she's so, she can tell you stuff that makes her sound like she's 90 or a teenager or whatever, and then she'll go back to sounding like a kid. So it's all about where you're at in your level of consciousness. And always know that only the creations of light are real. And I really hope you guys replay this. I know it's long, and I know that I've yammered on, but I really hope that I've touched some of you out there that are going through this, because this is my point, and I'm going to keep continuing to come on here, and I'll get different topics, but I really want to explain these things, but I want to explain them by tidbits, because people throw all these terms out now because it's a new age hipster thing, and that's not where I'm at in life. But people like to tell people about twin flames and abundance, and basically you can just sit on your butt and not do anything, and it all come to you if you just have a positive mindset. And that's not how it works, guys. You have to do stuff to it. But, for example, when you are self-employed, people often think you're lazy, or they conceive you as lazy because you don't get up and go to a physical place to work. How are you lazy if you sit on your computer and call people? And maybe to another person, I mean, I could look like I'm just playing on my phone half the time. I have clients calling me, people messaging me. I have things going on my phone. I'm drained by the end of the day because I've got so much new energy coming in and out that's not mine. And I still am intermediate to this, so I'm not a guru of 50 years. I haven't been reading people's palms and predicting the future since 1952. I haven't done that. So I'm still learning my boundaries, my protections, and I'm still learning. But when I get this concept and it makes it into my brain on this level, I feel like I have to get on here and share it with you. And I'm going to start a YouTube video. And my angels are really just guiding me right now, and I'm just feeling this overwhelming thing, and I keep getting all these creative ideas because I'm manifesting right now like so many things, and I'm trying to keep a rein on what I'm doing here because I got so many ideas just coming full force and these are ideas to help you guys, to reach you guys, and it's how do I reach the ones that really need help and help them understand and get it, because it's all about education. Just like when I was a medical assistant, my job as a medical assistant is to teach you, the patient, everything that the doctor told you in your doctor visit. Because if you ever went in there and the doctor's like, blah, 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 yak, 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 you're like, I don't understand a thing you're saying. Oh, crap. I take a pill and I apply a cream, and holy shit, I hope I don't get this wrong, and I have hair growing off my toes, So that's when the medical assistant comes in and is like, hey, by the way, I'm going to wrap up what we're doing here. this is what the doctor did, and I printed out the patient report and all that. That's what I want to do for you guys, and that's my approach to the angel sessions and to being an angel intuitive healer, is that I come out here, and by the time that you leave a session with me, there's no way that you can possibly say you didn't understand anything. And if you didn't understand anything, that is your own willingness not to receive. When you constantly put yourself in a state of worry, in a state of guilt, just know you have taken yourself out of the receiving mode. And if I throw a football at you right now, where's it going to hit? Where are your hands at? How are you going to catch that ball? Because you're not in the receiving mode. And when you're feeling guilty or afraid, or you're making decisions out of fear, fear-based decisions are the worst decisions. And just like when you make fear-based decisions, it's just like not looking through the eyes of enoughness. And you're not feeling abundant enough. So you're going to have to re-get it. You're going to have to redo it. So you might as well put it all or nothing. And that's almost what it is. And know that when you ask, you will receive. But you got to put yourself in the receiving mode. It's almost like on your email when you put away, or your messenger when you put away or there, so people know if they can talk to you or not. You got to put that sign on your head. Hey, universe, I'm putting my sign right here. I am receiving. I can catch. I'm here. I got it. I'm catching. I'm receiving. Throw me my abundance. I'm just saying. That might make you think about making fear-based decisions. Do you want to make that decision again? If it was scary to begin with, why would you want to make that again? That is why you don't make a fear-based decision. You wait until it comes to you. And obviously don't procrastinate. But it's almost like the situation with my daughter. I want to help her. I love my daughter. I'm not going to throw my daughter to anyone and everyone who has an opinion of how to raise her, because you know what? I'm her mom, not you, me. And I'm open to receiving your input, but nobody is going to push me into making a decision until I'm ready to make that decision. And if you can repeat that with me, I will not make fear-based decisions. I will make decisions when I have all the facts or a good gut feeling. Repeat that out loud to yourself. Stop being forced and pushed into things you don't want to do. Because that, my friend, is free will. And if you choose to do it at that moment, that is your choice. And the consequences come. It is also your choice to stop and take a minute. And if you don't have all the world time, you can take 5 minutes. Nobody and nothing can make you do anything you don't want to do. Remember that. If people would stop letting fear rule their life and their ego, which ego and fear and guilt are all best friends, by the way. By the way. Just so you know, and imagination precedes manifestation. That is the number one key rule of abundance. Neville Goddard is an author, and that's a law of reversibility, is the looking through the eyes of enoughness. And he states that imagination precedes manifestation. What that statement right there means is you have to dream it before you can have it. Kind of like that movie, Field of Dreams. We all know if you build it, they will come. If you build it in your mind, words and thoughts are powerful. Whatever you focus your mind on is what you're going to get. Promise. If you focus on a bunch of negative stuff, guess what you're going to get? All of a sudden, you're going to feel like crap. Bad things are going to start happening around you. Out of the weird blue, and I've had it happen to me. I've tested this theory quite a few times. Yesterday, though, however, I've got this overwhelming feeling that a change in what I'm doing, and it's going to still be me, but my practice is changing. I'm going to have a full out healing practice modality, like a place, like a retreat kind of. And I want it, and I'm going to... I've got my own little thoughts of what I'm going to do for this whole thing, but this came to me and it was just perfect. And yesterday I was in the shower because that's where I do a lot of my manifesting. I think it's because empaths, by the way, negativity is combated by water, and the shower or water is my friend because it takes away that negativeness. So if you're feeling really negative, Epsom salt bath, awesome. Take it right out of you. But I was taking a shower and I was meditating to my angels, and I just had this overwhelming feeling. I've been having it for a couple weeks that I'm gonna start training in like Reiki or something like that. Like I'm gonna be bringing an actual healing modality to what I'm doing right now. Because I'm already a healer, but this is going to be like Reiki or a specific actual thing that I'm going to need training for, because my cards keep telling me I need to go to school, but not traditional school, because I've already almost got my bachelor's. And they don't want me to go to traditional school, but they're telling me I need to go to I need to pick up more training, more learning. And I'm always like that, but I know that this was specific. So I was like, I had this whole vision in my mind of my practice and where I wanted to be at and everything, because I'm still in the baby stages. But I've got this whole vision, and you guys are gonna see me in 5 years and probably come back on this video and be like, damn, that girl was right. Because when I had this vision, it was just, I was saying, okay, angels, and some of the angels, I don't know exactly who does what. I'm pretty familiar with a lot of them, but like I said, I have a lot of information. Some things I don't get hung up on if I don't know the exact thing, because I can go look it up for you in 2 seconds. My brain houses a lot of information, and sometimes I can't get it all in there, but I always know I can look up information like that, and I know that I asked my angels. I said I need all my angels, whatever angels that need to be on this project, whether the ones that bring money. Archangel Raphael is the healing. I believe. Anyways, I'm not gonna get it wrong because I sometimes I get. Anyways, Gabrielle is one of the communication angels that I work with a lot, though. And I'm inspired to write a book as well. And I've got all these things coming, but like, these 2 things in particular, a book and the healing thing, are like really coming to me right now. And that's what I try to let people know, is this all comes on your path, gets lit up just like that game. Little bit by little bit, because we're not meant to see all of it. If you saw your whole life right now and your future and everything that it's meant to be, it would overwhelm you and you would go insane. Our brains are miraculous things. Miraculous. And I believe we only use, somebody can chime in, but I believe we only use like maybe a good 2% of it. It's very, maybe 5%. I forgot what it is, but it's very little. The capacity of what our brain has to do and to think and all the things that the power it has. But it is such a powerful thing. That is why if you have trauma, it shuts off that memory. And you're like, I can't remember it. I couldn't even tell you how it happened. Or if I'm telling you it the right way that it happened. And we get mad, or people get mad because they need that to use in a case, against someone or whatever. And, or sometimes I look at some of my memories, and when it happened, I could tell you everything that happened. Verbatim, the pictures in my mind. Sometimes that picture will still come in my mind, but if it's a bad memory, I only remember the good parts of it. Or if it's a bad memory, like I'll remember the good parts around it, or certain parts, I'll just see certain parts of it that don't show me that bad part. Maybe shows me leading up to it or whatever, but when that bad part, the core of the trauma happened, I don't remember those memories. Thank you, subconscious. My subconscious remembers them, but I physically don't. Thank you. We would go insane. Sometimes we forget that we just want such a change. We want our circumstances, we want to not hurt. We want our circumstances to change. And that's why we try everything we feel in our power so we can get out of this. And what happens is it doesn't help. It's like a cat chasing its tail in a circle. And we don't get anywhere. And that's why it's all about a mindset. It's all about positive thinking and visualizing, actually looking in your mind's eye and seeing yourself in a different spot. If you don't like that you're sitting there with no food in your house and a crappy job and everything's falling to shit right now, it's really hard, and I've done it, but you know what? You stop and you start, it's like the daydreaming thing. And people are like, oh, you're just daydreaming. No, I'm starting to daydream my way out of this crazy nightmare that I'm in. Because that's all it is. And once you learn that when you're having a bad time in life and nothing seems to be going right, remember that it's a crazy nightmare that you're living, and you can wake up from it. But you have to tell yourself to wake up from it. You have to stop and be like, hey, let's wake up from this crazy nightmare and let's have a positive, good thing. And you know what? You're like, well, yeah, let's do that all day and want one hand and, stop and think. Because you know what? Only the creations of light are real. And what is the number one rule? You have done nothing wrong. You only made your decisions based on your level of consciousness. Once you learn these two things, your level of consciousness goes up. And then the level of challenges and the level of life becomes greater. The level of experiences and the level of abundance starts to get greater as well. So you got to think big and not just think on the small term things, and stop and time only on this 3D world that we're in does time exist, because in all the other astral planes it doesn't. Angels have no concept of time, and I'm starting to maybe understand. That's why I'm 5 minutes late to everything. Can I use that because I'm an angel? I'm an earth angel, so I have no concept of time, so I'll be late to my own funeral. I've yammered on a lot, and I really hope, I'm very passionate about this subject, and I will be making more because I really want to teach you guys how to rise up to the level of consciousness that you deserve. Because if you're not feeling abundant in your life right now, what do you need to change? Do you need to change your mindset? Do you need to change people in it? Do you need to change? Something has to change. And once you make that change, greater things are going to come to you. It's all in a circle. It's a whole life. I'm learning is a whole path. And we got to learn to enjoy our journey. And we got to look. Sorry, okay. Anyways, I know my other light workers are out there. If you watched this video and you enjoyed it, let me know. I'm going to drop some more, but I just want to reiterate some things. Golden rules for abundance is remember that you have done nothing wrong. So stop waging war on yourself. Stop feeling guilty, because guilt, anger, all those things are all for the ego, and the ego has no place in manifesting, period. They need to go sit in their corner and be quiet. This is all for spirit and your soul when we're doing manifestations. So make sure to focus on what you want to manifest. You can either have abundance of poverty or abundance of not poverty. And remember, only the creations of light are real. So if you feel like you're going through the darkness or that's all that you're around, remember it's not real. And you need to wake up and tell yourself, I'm going to wake up and change my beliefs. And once I can wake up, it's kind of like he made I'm going to leave you with this. He made a thing of, if you had a dream about a bear, what's worse? Having a dream about one bear chasing you or a dream about 10 bears chasing you? Well, you know what? Neither one of them's worse, because all you got to do is wake up. And if you tell yourself to wake up from the dream, guess what? You're not going to have one bear or 10 bears, because you're going to have no bears, because they're not real, because you woke up. When you're going through it, just remember it's like a lucid dream. You're there. It's like when you're asleep and you kind of are awake for a minute, and then, but you're not quite awake, and then you wake up. It's called lucid dreaming. So if you can start looking at your negative circumstances as that you're lucid dreaming right now and having this, you need to wake yourself up from this nightmare. And to simply do that, change your mindset, change your beliefs. If you don't know how to do that, or it's really hard because this life's hard, guess what? I'm your angel. I can do it. I love you. And I want to go ahead and I'm going to say a cutting cord prayer for all of you that watch this. And if you need cords cut in your life, this will help. Archangel Michael, I call on you to please surround me with your, please with your mighty sword, please cut ties to all the cords, to all the people and things out there that are attached to me that no longer serve me. Please cut cords for all the ties to anybody or anything that is holding me back. Please shower me with abundance and let me know that my abundance is here and I need to be in the receiving mode. protect me, and help me down my path. And if I encounter fear, let me know, remind me that fear is an illusion and the strength, I need to look inside me for the strength. Amen. And so it is. You probably feel 20 pounds lighter. I just cut off any energetic cords from anybody holding you guys back or holding you to your situation. So you're welcome. And come check me out. You're Grounded LLC. Got Instagram, Jess Intuitive, or Jess, and then Intuitive Angel Vibes. Come check me out. Come book a session. I can help you. Life's good. You just gotta put on a different pair of shades to look through it. Start looking through rose-colored glasses, and if blue ones are all that you have, like I said, come talk to me, and I can definitely share my pair of rose-colored glasses with you. So, love and light, everybody. Your angels love you, and don't give up. Have faith. It's all going to work out. And you got all my groups if you need a little extra. Love and light, guys.